To cheer up the men who will be competing in the race, the girls change into their car bobber suits and try to motivate them to win the race. Introducing the guys, they are called David, Emma, Olivia, Jake, Nick, and John in the first row, from the left to the right, to take a picture. After taking photos, they set off to the race venue. On the way, to test the car's performance, Nick continuously performed high-speed drifting to show off his skills. After the test, Jake took over the car, as Nick had to save his strength for the next race. Not long after that, they joined their teammates and drove side by side, chatting about the result of the test. But they made the highway their home, completely ignoring the trucks behind them. The truck driver had been honking frequently to overtake the truck, but Jake never wanted to give way. His behavior caused resentment among the truck driver, and when he saw that the other driver was really angry, Jake gave way to the truck. Even though the truck successfully overtook the car, he didn't stop there. But he had been holding back a lot of anger, so he tried to teach the others a lesson, and the truck driver woke up with his tongue, aiming at the same goal, to stay out of the way. However, Jake drove a race car, and so the truck driver was not able to stop him. But David was not so lucky, because he was not only driving an off-road vehicle, but also a trailer behind him. And when he saw that he was going to run away, the driver tried so hard to stop him. They'd messed with the wrong man because the driver's name was Rusty Ting, and he'd killed the two men. Half an hour later, Rusty Nail locked up the license plate on the car's logbook. Quickly, he found out the names of the men and contacted Emma on the radio. Rusty Nail not only called out the names of the men, he said he'd never let anyone go. After thinking it over, Emma thought that they had already left Rusty Nail 100 miles behind, so it was impossible for them to catch up with them. They drove all day and all night, not daring to stop the car to take a rest, not even to refill the gas tank. Even when they stopped for gas, they did it quickly and didn't wait. But the goddess of fortune always enjoys playing jokes. Not long after, Nick's car had a tire blowout. Even worse, Jake and the others were unaware of this, and their positions seemed to have been disturbed somehow. Meanwhile, Nick and Olivia changed their tire, but after a half-hour delay, they were overtaken by Rusty Nails. The car instantly lost its balance under the fierce impact of the rust nails. The car lost its balance, and the back of the car was struck by a belt. After the two were hit, Rusty captured Nick. Shortly after, Nick woke up, and to punish his opponent, Rusty Nail mercilessly broke Nick's arms and crushed his brain. Upon arrival, Nick and the others immediately rolled back for the safety of their friends. They arrived at the trading site indicated by Kui, and then Nick, David, and John spread out and entered the salvage sluice. But they didn't know that they had been duped because Kui wasn't a fool. He knew that if he wanted to get rid of all of them, he would have to break them one by one, and when he got to John, who was left alone, Kui fled from the slagging site. Shortly thereafter, Kui called Nick to tell him that he was furious with them for their little trick. Rusty Nail was furious, and to punish them, Rusty Nail started the winch and strangled John's brain so horribly that it looked like 300 pounds of fat girl wearing fishnet stockings. The flesh was strangled so tightly that it could be described as eating rice, too fucking much rice. After taking John out of the picture, Rusty Nail gave Emma the opportunity to order Emma to rush to the old garbage dump next to the fjord on the 10th highway. How about exchanging himself for his girlfriend, Olivia? But they only had 30 minutes to think about it, and when that time was up, Rusty Nail immediately did the same to Olivia. At this point, the three of them were divided. John wanted to report to the police, who would come to save him, but Emma and Jake said that John's fate, as you can see, would have been to kill Jake if he had reported to the police. After a long discussion, John decided to report to the police by himself, but as soon as they were gone, John was knocked out by the dark iron nail and grabbed him by the hand. When David came to his senses, his head was lifted up by the $1,000 head. The only thing that Rusty Nail said was, "I warned you not to call the police." He then stepped on the $1,000 head and blew David's head off. Please imagine a watermelon falling on the ground and then falling into a tree. What a crazy thing to do. After taking care of David, Rusty Nail retrieved all the evidence and calmly drove to the old garbage yard. After arriving, he told Olivia to go back and look for David, who was after him, and said he would deal with Rusty Nail until Olivia and David brought the police. But Emma didn't know that David was already dead and that he had died a horrible death. After bidding farewell to Olivia, Emma went into the garbage dump by himself, and not long afterward, he saw Rusty Nail. Seeing that Rusty Nail had come to visit, Rusty Nail complimented him heartily, saying, "It seems that you really love your girlfriend." Rusty Nail said that in order to save his girlfriend, he had to defeat her, or else Olivia would be crushed by the crusher. In just 2 rounds, Emma was beaten by Rusty Nail, and he saw that his opponent was reduced to a pile of mud. Rusty Nail picked up his axe and planned to finish the job. But just as he needed to, Olivia was caught by the blood of her blood, and he had to kill her. But just when it was too late, the Chart arrived in time and knocked Rusty Nail over with a vengeance. After getting off the car, Jake rushed to ask Emma about the other party's condition, and Emma reminded Jake to turn off the crusher immediately. After Emma reminded him, the crusher had been turned off, but when Emma turned on the camera, he saw that there was no girlfriend. There was only a camera in the camera, so Olivia had been played to death by Rusty Nail. The method of her death was even more tragic because she had been chopped by the Blue Waste. After he knew the real truth, Emma wanted to kill Rusty Nail, but when he arrived at the garage, he found that Rusty Nail was gone.